and welcome to Having a Yarn. My name is Kacy and I'm so excited today to finally be showing you my sewing room. So this video has been a while in the making. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment and I am very fortunate to have an entire sewing room, but it's taken me probably the past almost 2 years to finally get this set up. And now that I've got everything kind of absolutely perfect and how I love it, I'm actually looking at moving out of this place towards the end of the year. So I thought it's now or never. I've got to just kind of finally film this video, show my sewing room and take you on a little tour of all things crafty here in my house.
Okay, hello and welcome to my sewing room. So I'm so fortunate to be able to have an entire room in my house dedicated to all of my sewing and crafts, and yeah, it's so nice to finally kind of have the whole space set up and ready to craft in, really. So I've got a beautiful custom desk that I had my dad make that I'll show you a little bit more of in a moment, and then I also have a little cutting table. So this cutting table is just one of the IKEA standing desks, so it can be raised and lowered, which makes it really nice for cutting, especially since I'm now getting a little bit older and my back hurts if I try and cut on a dining table. So here I've just got one of the projects that I've just currently cut out that I'm working on at the moment, and you can see here it's just a manual table that you just crank up and down depending on the height that you want it. It was a little bit cheaper than the automatic tables that they have at IKEA, so yeah, I use this one all throughout my degree to actually study at, and now I use it as a cutting table, and I just have one of these cutting boards on there as well. So yeah, just in the middle of making a top at the moment, which I've had cut out, and I've got the cutting mat on there as well. I'd really love to get a larger cutting mat to fit the whole table, but otherwise I just kind of move it around as needed. And I generally cut out everything using a rotary cutter and a ruler, rather than using kind of scissors and pinning, because I can't stand doing that. So just a few of the decorations in here. I've got a Star Trek medic badge that one of my friends kindly gave me when I graduated university, which was very cute. I love that. And then I have one of my favourite pieces of Jocelyn Proust fabric just framed up in an IKEA frame there. And coming around to the other side, just got my iron and ironing board, and nothing too exciting. And sorry, the lighting's probably terrible in this, but it is a very bright day today. And then this is a little kind of crochet knitting corner of the room. I've got a few of my things stored on this ladder in the corner, just to show off some of the pieces that I have finished and that I'm also working on. And then I love to keep all of my kind of knitting and crochet projects in baskets. That way I can just kind of have everything that I need for the project in the one basket ready to go and have it sitting around the house. So that way I'm more inclined to kind of pick it up when I'm sitting on the couch and work on it. So that's a Horizon jumper. I've got 2 of them in there that I'm working on at the moment for a friend's twins. This is my granny stripe blanket, which is using all the scraps from previous projects. That's a work in progress. This is one of the first quilts that I ever made. It's just a kind of a little small size that I made out of a jelly roll. And then the top blanket was the first time I really ever crocheted. I decided to do a calendar blanket where you do a different stitch every month, so I wanted to learn a whole bunch of different stitches. So that is my calendar blanket at the top there. So that's just nice, brings a bit of colour into the room. And then we've got just the thing that I'm just like super proud of is my sewing desk. So I already had one of these existing sets of legs, well, the sets of drawers, sorry, as legs, and so I just got a second set. But then I decided I actually wanted the desk to be a little bit higher, because I realised that I prefer sitting on a high stool when I'm sewing, because you're constantly kind of getting up and sitting down, and I prefer just to be kind of on a high stool. So my dad, very amazingly, we bought this piece of wood and he used these metal brackets to attach the table to the legs just so it was at a higher height, and he painted the brackets white so they matched in with the shelves below, and I think they turned out really nice. So this is just my desk here. I made it quite long, so it's around, I'm going to say close to 2 meters long, because I like to be able to have the space and have the overlocker and the sewing machine on the same desk. So I've just got a little plant on my desk here. I've got my overlocker is the Janome Mylock 744D. I've had this for probably, I'm going to say, at least 15 years. Really good, never had a problem with it. I really love it. And then I just have a few bits and pieces. I've got that little dish there that my dad made me out of some offcuts of the wood just to store a few bits and pieces on. And then coming over to my sewing machine. So I have the Brother Star 15. I've had this sewing machine since I was a teenager and I absolutely love it. I never really had a problem with it. And I have a picture of my grandmother and grandfather. That's actually at my brother's christening. But my grandmother is kind of my sewing inspiration. She has done a lot of sewing and knitting and all that kind of stuff, and she really loves to see all the things that I make, so I have a little picture of her on my sewing desk as well. And then of course the most important thing for me when I'm sewing is to have access to a bunch of my favourite TV shows, so that's why I have my laptop on the desk as well. And then coming into the drawer, which I've obviously missed because I was trying to film at the same time as getting my hand in the drawer. So these are some IKEA drawer dividers, so they're made specifically to fit into these sets of shelves, or drawers, sorry. So I've got all of my thread in the top one as well as all of my overlocking threads as well. So that kind of keeps the things that I need most of, and my needles and stuff. Second drawer is again got more of these dividers for these drawers, and I have just all little bits and pieces. Here is my little button collection from my grandmother. She gave me a whole bunch of her old buttons. I've got a few wonder clips for when I'm quilting, which are really handy because you can't really pin together so many layers. And then I just have all things like safety pins and other pins and elastics and zips and all those kind of bits and pieces that you collect as you're sewing. Next drawer, I've just got a bunch of kind of interfacing, a glue gun, some ribbing, all those kind of things, just a bunch of that kind of stuff. And then I have all of my overlocking threads in here, so I generally keep a black, a white and a navy, and that suits most fabrics. And then you can see here, this is where I've just whacked all of my cords just to try and make this video look a little bit neater. So that is my little secret there. So that is my sewing desk and my kind of crochet area there. And then on the other side, what do I have? I've got a project that I was working on, so that's a felt mobile, and that's just all the little bits and pieces for that specific project. And then I also have here just a beautiful print that a friend gave me that I just need to get a frame for, and some of my other embroidery bits and pieces. And then the rest of the drawers I'm not showing you because they're very messy and just full of rubbish and stuff that is not very interesting. Then coming into this corner of the room, I have my 2 racks set up. So this is generally where I keep all of my patterns and then also keep all of my fabrics. So at the moment, like I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm trying to keep really just a small amount of fabric. So I'm trying not to have too many. So that's a few projects that I'm working on there, and then also patterns that I like to have printed out and hanging up there rather than kind of scrunching them up and putting them in folders or anything. And then at the moment, I'm using the other rack to store this gorgeous little mobile that I made for my nephew out of some beautiful wool felt. All of the animals are facing the wrong way, so here I am trying to give you a bit of a front view of it. Yeah, super cute. Love the little tiger. It was quite difficult to make. If you're a hand sewer, you might find this stuff quite easy, but I'm not particularly a very good hand sewer, so I found this project quite hard. But I think the end product is super cute, and I can't wait to give it to him. So I just finished that one there, and I've just got it hanging up before I go and see my brother and sister-in-law tonight. Little monkey with his tail, it's pretty cute. So just don't look too closely at the details, because it's probably a little bit messy. So yeah, it's just a project that I've been working on that I've got sitting there, and then also got a cushion there which I made for a friend of mine who's just moved into her own house. So she really loves sausage dogs, so I just made that little cushion for her. And these clothes hangers are really good because they've got these little baskets at the bottom, so it's where I keep a lot of my other patterns that I do have just in folders, and then kind of spare bits of fabric, and another quilt that I'm working on is kind of stored in this one here, so plenty of storage space. And then beside that, I just have this set of shelves here. It doesn't really contain lots of sewing stuff. It's also just I use my spare room as a bit of storage as well. So I do have in this bottom one here some of my soap making stuff. So I make natural deodorant and I make soaps as well. So I've got a whole bunch of soap making stuff, but I kind of realised that it was going to be too hard to really show you, so I'm just going to give up in a moment. But yeah, I've just got all my soap making stuff in there, moulds and safety gear and all that kind of stuff, because soap making is very serious business. And then I just have some more of my kind of spare yarns. So these are ones that I've got from old projects, or I've got some beautiful yarn that my dad and stepmom got me when they were in Europe that I'm going to make a scarf out of. So I've just got those sitting there as well. So that pretty much is everything. So that is my sewing room, and it was really nice to be able to show you guys around. Hopefully that was interesting in one way or another.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you really enjoyed just seeing into my sewing room. I really love to see where other people, their creative spaces and where they go to be creative and make and all of that. So I was just really excited to be able to share my space. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks guys, bye.